All right, we are back with another PrizePicks video. Going to be talking NBA in this one. Got a whole bunch of games, and some of those aren't on the board just yet, as it is still early. But going to attack the ones that are there, and potentially we'll make another video later in the day to go over some, maybe updated picks or some of those games that haven't been on the board just yet, if there's some crazy value that I see out there. So let me know if you want maybe a follow-up video later in the day. But we're going to attack what we have so far. If you're new to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. This is daily content every single day for PrizePicks and player props. We've been consistent. We do NBA, we do other sports when the time is right. And just join the family. It's super easy. Click that subscribe button, like the video so more people can see it, and then comment anything down below. It also just gets the reach out for people, in terms of the algorithm and all those things that you hear about. So definitely helps me out if you guys do that. But let's go over the video picks from last time. Weird one for us. Two DMPs, two late DMPs. As I was making the video, Damian Lillard, got the questionable tag, and at the same time, Giannis got a probable tag, so it wasn't looking good right there. But they ended up very, very late scratch for him. And then Jalen Smith kind of no word up until very close to tip off, and he was a no-go there as well. So really loved those lines, but unfortunate there. But we ended up going 2 for 3 on our video picks. Paolo just didn't get there. It was a very entertaining game. Atlanta versus Orlando, both teams that you might not think of being solid, but really good season so far for both of them. And again, Paolo just under for us. And DeJounte, his usage rate continues to be skyrocketing for this Hawks team. And in a game that Trey had a great game, but Murray, still doing his thing, going over and turning over some balls there. Again, just because he's handling it a little bit more. And then Suggs, projection models were loving him. We looked at his analysis a little bit, and he continues to crush this line. So really liked those ones, and going to try to replicate this and more. So let's go over and look again. Not all the picks are on the board just yet. Actually seeing some Celtics lines that weren't there before. So definitely they're gonna be popping up throughout the day, of course. But very early look here. But definitely a whole bunch of value on the board even this early. I'm going to go chronologically like I always do and start with Tyrese Maxey. Just a line that popped out for me. This points and rebounds line at 26.5. Honestly, any of these lines, you could go PRA, you could go to his points and assists. I just think Maxey has a really good matchup here in Detroit. And before we go into his outlier page, I do want to show just like specifically what the Detroit Pistons are giving up to point guards. 26.16, which is third most in the entire league. Also go up to a whole bunch of rebounds to point guards. And then in terms of assists, they're giving up a little bit less in that regard. They are a red assist team, so not giving up a decent amount there, which is kind of why I'm going with the points and rebounds combo here. Just seeing a little bit more value on it. Going into Maxey's outlier page. If you're new to Outlier and you maybe see me use this every single day in every single video, it's absolutely crucial to what I do in terms of scanning player props, being able to see all this information on one page very easily visually as well. We did just partner up, so really excited about that. And if you want a free trial, which is exactly where I started when I started doing this, go ahead and hit the link in the description down below. And again, you'll get that free trial. It's been an absolute game changer for me, and it will definitely be for you as well. So look at that for sure. But let's look at Maxey's page real quick here. Points and rebounds, he's gone over in 5 of 7 games. Some of these games, he's absolutely crushed this line. And we know Maxey, again, 26.5. He can do that into points any day, any given day. So with the added bonus of a rebounds line in there as well, and a very good matchup for point guards against Detroit, I'm loving Maxey in this spot. So that'll be our first play. Again, going chronologically here, staying at that 7-10 slot, we're going to go to Kyle Kuzma. We just saw what he did to Charlotte just recently. He had 33 points against them. I was also really liking his rebounds line, so I'm going to add him up and go for his points and rebounds, just like Maxey here. 32.5 for Kuzma. You can't really get a better matchup in terms of being able to score the ball than against Charlotte. They don't give much resistance. And Jordan Poole has just been a really disappointment. His line is really low, so kind of seeing some value on that line. I think it's like 19.5 right now. But I'm going to stick to the guy that's been consistent all year. Hasn't scored under 20 points in a single game. But again, let's pull up his points and rebounds line. And we've seen he's gone over that in 4 or 7 games. Some of these blowouts, 23-point blowout, 20-point blowout, he's not getting his normal minutes in those. but assuming he gets like those 30, 32, 35 minutes in a game that should be closer. Again, this was a blowout as well, but there's some -2 spread. This game should be close. Two bad teams going up against each other. So I assume it's going to be potentially high scoring, not a whole lot of defense, and Kuzma, repeats like he did last time. So Kuzma at 32.5 points and rebounds is going to be the second play. Moving into a 8 p.m. slot here, we're going to go to Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm going to go to his 36.5 points, rebounds, assists, something that, again, stuck out to me, but on the negative side of it, I'm going to go under here. Just seems pretty high to me, and the stats of the Outlier page are kind of showing the same story here. Let's go to Jaren Jackson Jr.'s page. Points, rebounds, assists. The odds are liking this at -120. He's gotten under this in 6 of 8 games. So, again, right off the bat, it looks really solid. Going against a Utah team that is not the worst matchup for him, not the best one's pretty mediocre. So nothing standing out there in terms of maybe him getting a million points, getting a million rebounds. They actually played each other this year already, and he only had 29 points, rebounds, assists. So again, liking the history here, the matchup is solid, and I'm thinking he continues to go under this line. So Jaren Jackson Jr. going to be this third play for us, our first under for the day. Next up, staying again in that 8 p.m. slot, let's go to Zach Collins. Another under here for us, so we can pull him up here. Another PRA, 23.5 points, rebounds, assists. We're going under here. This is a matchup one that I'm really liking, going up against Minnesota, which is the best defense in the league last time I checked. And he's a big man having to deal with Gobert and Towns down there. So let's open up his page real quick. He's gone under this. Honestly, I'd give him his flowers. He's having a great season. Probably someone no one really had heard of before last year, after Pirtle got traded and he started starting a lot of games. But he's their starting center, and he's been very solid. But under in 6 of 8 games. Odds are liking this at -123, and again, very, very hard matchup for him as a center, going up against Minnesota. So I think Zach Collins kind of continues this streak of going below. Maybe it's just below. Maybe it could be his worst game of the year, but I don't see him going over this. So Zach Collins is going to be our fourth play. Next up, kind of cruising through these in this video, we're going to go to Kyrie Irving. And 3 unders in a row here, not something we typically do on this channel, but 3-pointers, 2.5. I'm going to go under here. Hasn't been shooting a whole lot of threes, hasn't been scoring the ball all too much this year as compared to any other year for Kyrie. Obviously playing alongside Luka, doesn't get a whole lot of usage in terms of how he's gotten it in the past. But let's pull up his 3-pointers line. Another one that odds are really liking. I guess it's -113, so pretty even odds, but better odds than the over here. Gone under in 5 of 6 games. He's not someone that's going to throw up 10 threes. Looks like he's averaging 6 on the year. Shooting a pretty poor percentage from the 3-point line as well. And then in terms of who's their matchup, the Clippers, they don't give up a whole bunch of threes either. So if we go to, I guess he's a shooting guard, but if we go to 3-pointers made, we see the Clippers here for point guards at least 1.96. If we go to shooting guards, 2.52. So both in the red. If we pull up just in terms of everyone, let's go to their shooting defense here, pull up their opponent 3-pointers made, and we can see that the Clippers are ranked what? Clippers ranked 10th, so only giving up 11.7 3-pointers on the year. Solid matchup against guards in terms of locking up guards. I was looking at his points and assists or points and rebounds in one of those lines for another under for Kyrie, but going to rock with this one for the video picks. Again, he's got to shoot over 50% from the 3-point line, I think, to get this line, and I don't see it happening. So Kyrie Irving, kind of our third under here, but let's finish it off with an over. Someone I've been kind of going for the unders recently just because the Kings have been struggling, but Sabonis got a really good matchup here in terms of rebounding the ball, going up against OKC. I'm liking it at 12.5. He's been, I think might be the leading rebounder in the league so far. Kind of 2 down games against Portland and Houston, but against Oklahoma City, let's go to centers here. Let's go to rebounds, and we can see 18.1 rebounds per game to centers. going up against probably the best rebounder in the league right now, or at least one of them. I think he can crush this line. Let's go to his page, though, kind of get a visual on here to back up what we're thinking. Sabonis, let's go to his rebounds line. Well, let's just open up his page, and then we'll find it. Rebounds here, let's see the odds at -130 to go over this. Again, it's a high line, but he's a guy that can grab 20 rebounds on nights for sure. Gone over this in 3 of 7 games, so not the craziest history, but we talked about what OKC does, giving up a whole bunch of boards, 2 centers specifically, but just in general as well. And looks like he's gone over this 12.5 rebounds line in 8 straight games against Oklahoma City. So love to see that. You can always pull up the head-to-head matchup here. Looks like we're getting at least the last 4. And again, 16, 14, 15, 13. He just needs 13. So Sabonis, really, really liking this spot for him to complete the 6. But let's just do a recap real quick. Let's see if I can even zoom in. Sometimes it's hard for you guys to see, but let's get a nice little zoom for you guys. So just to recap, Tyrese Maxey, 26.5 points and rebounds. Very good matchup in terms of point guards against Detroit. And again, Maxey can get this line in points any day of the week. So 26.5 going over that. Kyle Kuzma, 32.5. We just saw what he did against Charlotte. I think he continues that. And Poole's been a disappointment. So riding with Kuzma, been very consistent. Jaren Jackson Jr. just seems high. Again, the matchup in terms of Utah isn't like the worst matchup in the world. But again, he's gone under this in a whole bunch of games. Thinks he continued that. Zach Collins, 23.5 points, rebounds, assists. This matchup is really hard, specifically against centers, but one of the better defenses in the league. So really liking this under for Zach Collins, but have to give him his props. He's been really good this year so far. Kyrie Irving, under 2.5 3-pointers made. Again, he's going to have to shoot probably over 50% to get that line. And the Clippers don't love to give up 3-pointers. And then Sabonis could get 15-plus rebounds tonight, I think, in a really good matchup against OKC. So that will do it for this one. If you like this Outlier app, it's been awesome for me. Again, I started the free trial and then got absolutely hooked on it. It makes researching this so much easier, gives you such value plays right away. So definitely go ahead and hit that link in the description for a free week. And then, subscribe if you're new. Like the video so more people can see it. Comment down below if you hate one of these picks, if you love these picks, if you're talent, if you're mix and matching, whatever it might be. So that will do it. Let's make some money tonight, guys. And I might drop another video if some lines move, or maybe, I find some value in the games that aren't on the board just yet. So that will do it, though. Peace out.